Welcome to the podcast. We're going to be doing something different in this podcast. I'm going to be showing you behind the scenes of how I retired from medicine at age 45. This is going to be an introduction to a part of my life I haven't shared pretty much at all on this podcast, which is the introduction to trauma-informed physician coach training. Over the next few episodes, I'm going to show you how you also can make medicine optional. You could retire from medicine this year in the next 12 months. I'm going to be, of course, going into detail on that in my live upcoming or my free upcoming masterclass. And this is what the work we do inside of my coaching space. What we work on is making your next 100K faster as a physician coach, fixing your job, signing your first high-paying, high-ticket client, matching, exceeding your medical salary, making medicine optional. I'm going to tell you how I did it, why I did it, what it looked like, and how my clients are doing the same. If you're new to me, I am Dr. Christina Arnold. I retired from medicine at 45 because it was a pay cut to stay. I make more than a doctor, coaching about 1 hour a day. In a given week, I coach a little bit Tuesdays and Thursday afternoons, Friday mornings. And the rest of my calendar is white space, totally open. I take off at least a week a month. Past couple of years, I've taken also a month off a year in addition to a week off a month. My business pays for my daughter to go to her top choice college out of state, all cash at $90,000 a year. I only take first class flights. I have total schedule control, no pager, no call, no evenings, no weekends, no holidays, no HIPAA modules, no overdue notes, no bad bosses. I have much more interesting conversations with my husband. Yesterday or I think 2 nights ago, I was having a conversation with my husband of I have so much cash in my bank account. Where should I invest it? That's a much different conversation than what I had when I was a physician. We were always stressed out. It was like there was no time to even think about where are we putting this money. So actually, as a physician coach, there's just so much more money around and available because I have the time and space to invest, because I can make money on demand, because cash is like a waterfall. If I want to have $20,000 to send off a check to college, I sign 2 clients. So we have to start here, the burnout lie. Listen through this because it might sound spicy at first, but it's designed to really heal you. You're not burnt out. You're just over this version of your physician job. You're overdoing so much for so little. You're overdoing multiple jobs for one salary, being indispensable and also totally disposable, being managed by people who have never done your job, skipping your own colonoscopy to close your notes. I know. I mean, all those things I've been through or I've helped people through. So here's the proof. If you're doubting me on this, let me prove it to you. If you could make your physician salary coaching 1 hour a day, most of your calendar was white space, you never had to take call, at 9 hours of delicious sleep every night, you're off every holiday, every school holiday, every evening, every weekend. You're able to put your kids on the bus to go to school in the morning. You're there in the afternoon when they come home. In the meantime, you have plenty of time to go to the gym, read a book for pleasure, has nothing to do with being a physician, have sweetheart time with your husband in the morning and in the evening, nap, read a book, maybe read a trashy magazine. You didn't have any militant emails about overdue notes, your bonus being threatened, another freeze on raises. You'd be off a week, a month, a year. Would you still be burnt out? Heck no, you wouldn't be burnt out. What that means is you're not burnt out. You're just over this version of your physician job. The problem isn't you. It's actually not even burnout. It's just your job, your physician job, and none of it's your fault. And you don't have to settle for this being all there is for the next 25 years. We did the math on it. If you're about 40, you plan to work to 65. That's 6,000 more shifts. You're not burnt out. You're done accepting a bad deal from your hospital. And in trauma-informed coaching, we help you fix the deal. Because here's the deal. When you make more than a doctor's salary with physician coaching, you stay in medicine because you love it, or you leave because you don't, and you never take a pay cut. That's the ultimate boundary. I hear a lot of women new to coaching come in, I need a boundary. I need a boundary. Listen, this is the ultimate boundary. It's an economic one, and it's very powerful. You make more than a doctor, you can leave anytime without taking a pay cut. When you have options, you solve burnout permanently. I retired from medicine at 45 because it was a pay cut to stay. I make more than a doctor coaching 1 hour a day. I wasn't burnt out in medicine. I just needed an option to leave. And in trauma informed physician coach training at the free masterclass, you're going to get everything you need to make medicine optional in 2026. So here's some parts that won't be at the masterclass, but that I want to give you all on this private podcast. I want you to be irreplaceable. I mean, for sure, you already are to your family, but I want you to be irreplaceable. What I mean by that is I want you to be able to protect your physician income, any economy, any world crisis, any of it. And this is where we're going to come up against what a lot of physicians think is that, oh my gosh, being a physician is the ultimate in stability, the ultimate in pay. I happen to believe the opposite. I think physician jobs, you are 100% limited to what you're paid. If your chair negotiated a bad deal because he's a terrible negotiator, congratulations, you are tied to his bad deal because you'll never out earn your chair. Medicine, private practice, wherever you are, there is a cap to how much you can make. The hospital decides it. Invent the cure for cancer and depression. You're not getting paid $1 more than what the hospital decides you're worth. Not true in coaching. In coaching, it's unlimited. You get to decide how much you make, and then you make it. But I need to show you this. Physician jobs are not as stable as you think. Coaching is actually far more stable. Here's the facts. During the global pandemic, when the world was shutting down, during a global health crisis, when you might think the world would want doctors the most, physicians faced the unthinkable, lost jobs, early retirement, slashed salaries, all while risking their lives for caring for a deadly disease. At the very beginning, nobody knew what was going on. This was just another reminder. You have to see physicians are completely dispensable in the healthcare system. Meanwhile, while that was happening to physicians, unbelievably devastating to see this, the coaching industry exploded. Why? Because mental health will always be a priority. In a time when the economy was crashing, the world was turned upside down, the number one industry I saw on different surveys that was booming was the coaching industry. Coaching jobs are more stable than physician jobs, and your income is limitless, and you get to control your schedule. So if you really want financial stability in any economy, any world crisis, you need to become a physician coach. Protect your income, any crisis, any administration, any economy. Master the invaluable skill of being an advanced physician level trauma-informed coach. So as a physician coach, what does it look like? You make money on demand from your home office when you want to, on your own schedule. I don't wake up with an alarm anymore. I never carry a pager. There's no such thing as a coaching emergency. You can make 50K days. You can double your annual bonus, your whole annual hospital bonus. You can double it in 1 hour. How do I know? I do that all the time by just knowing how to sign one high ticket client on a sales call. You can match and exceed your clinical salary, which allows you to stay in medicine because you love it or leave it because you don't. You get to create options for yourself while protecting your finances and pivoting to something that might be a better fit for you without taking a pay cut. You get to support the most amazing people on the planet. I mean, really, there is nothing better than this work. For me, there's just nothing better than being a physician coach. But here's what you have to know. Here's the best thing. You cannot be fired from skills you own. As a physician, you can be fired anytime. Anytime they can ask you to leave, security guard could show up at your office, you're out. We see this happen all the time. You cannot be fired from your own skills. You cannot be fired when you're your own boss. You control your schedule, your income, your career, your options. I want you to be irreplaceable. Become an advanced trauma-informed coach. So right now you're probably thinking, okay, well, trauma-informed physician coaching for me is now the right time. What I want you to know is you're asking yourself the wrong questions. You need to be asking yourself this question. Can I really do this physician job for the next 25 years? Assuming, because this is a fact, medicine will only get worse. So if you're 40 years old, you're already feeling burnt out. You're already having all your screws twisted by your boss who wants more RVUs. Don't use your PTO and don't ever ask for help. Can you really do this job as it gets worse from the 25 years? So if you're 40, this is going to amount to, let's just say conservatively, you do 5 shifts a week, of around 48 weeks a year for 25 more years. That's 6,000 more shifts. Okay. Can you imagine 6,000 more times walking to the hospital, feeling and being totally undervalued before your shift starts? 6,000 more times you have to deal with documentation, prior authorizations, workplace politics. And this is conservative because we're not saying this in any given day. This may happen 6,000 times on one given day. So this number is probably more like in the millions. 6,000 more days coming home exhausted with nothing left for your family. 6,000 more times wondering, is this what I spent a decade training for and $500,000 in med school training? Or you could join Trauma Informed Physician Coach Training, join us at our upcoming free masterclass and build the foundation to make medicine optional over the next 12 months. Not someday, in 12 months. The answer is clear, but I want to share with you $1 million mistake. This time last year, two women physicians came to me with identical situations. Both are busy physician moms running busy clinical practices. Both had caught the real estate bug, so they were also managing properties, trying to create passive income, which we all know that's not passive. You have to learn real estate law, taxes. You need to get a manager. You're on call for your hospital, for your apartment or your other property, hoping someone doesn't bring home bed bugs or burst a pipe. And it's the middle of the night, a pipe burst at 2 a.m. Now you're dealing with that. Okay, listen, that's not passive income. Both busy physician moms running clinical practices, both caught the real estate bug, both wanted to join Trauma Informed Physician Coach Training. Woman number one said, oh my gosh, I'm so overwhelmed by my life. I can't do this right now. Maybe next year. She came back a year later, busier, more overwhelmed, still in medicine. None of her problems were solved. They were just bigger. Woman number two is like, I'm so overwhelmed. I need Trauma Informed Physician Coach Training more than ever. I need it for myself. I need to figure out this life. I want to stop cutting. I don't want to have to depend on these real estate properties. I want help. She joined, she doubled her clients. She turned in her 90-day notice within 3 months of joining the program. She tripled her salary. Both women had the same starting point, same obstacles, same, I'm too busy. One woman is retired from medicine and the other isn't. The difference, one woman joined Trauma Informed Physician Coach Training, the other didn't. Woman number two didn't have more time than number one. They had the exact same amount of time. Woman number two just decided staying overwhelmed and underpaid and overworked for another year was no longer an option. I want to end on this story, my particular story. Actually, I have to say this. So if you're saying I don't have 1 hour more to get started, our philosophy around here is you only need 1 hour a week to get started building a physician coaching practice. How I know? Because that's what I did. When I started, I was full-time in medicine, 2 small kids, no time at all. I only had 1 hour a week. It's all I needed to build a $1 million coaching practice. If you're saying I don't have a 1 hour a week, I hear you. And I want to say, you don't have to have a 1 hour a week free when you start. Let me find that 1 hour a week for you, because we're not going to add a coaching call to your calendar. What we're going to do is we're going to first is fix your job. We're going to subtract all the nonsense off your calendar. I do this all the time. I promise right now you have 20 hours a week loaded up on nonsense, which are work you're doing for free. You don't have to be doing at all, which are meetings you don't have to be at, activity. You have at least 20 hours a week on your calendar right now that doesn't need to be there. So when you start, we are going to create that 1 hour a week for you, and then we're going to grow it and multiply it. I promise you, we will find the time for you to get started. You only need 1 hour a week to build a $1 million coaching practice to get started. Okay, but I want to end this podcast episode with my story, because I want you to just see how amazing this is. 5 years ago, let me not date this. 2020-ish? No, 2021. I spent $18,000 on a 6-month coaching certification through the Life Coach School. That program doesn't even exist anymore. And eventually wound up being $25,000 modules. People were not loving it, but I loved it. I thought it was worth it. Anyways, I want to get back to this. It taught me how to coach, taught me nothing about how to make money. So, and this is typical for many coaching spaces. It's typical. You either learn how to coach, you have no idea how to make money, so you're just in debt, Or you go to a business course and they teach you how to make money, but they don't teach you how to coach. And so you can't get any clients. So either way, you're just in debt and it's not a good situation. Also, none of the programs available except for this one teach physicians how to be physician coaches. So at the end of my $18,000 investment, 6 months life coach school, I was like, okay, I can kind of coach, but I have no idea to make money. No one here is a physician. I am definitely not capable. So I had to buy more coaching courses, business courses, marketing courses, mindset courses, trauma informed courses, expert coaching courses. Let me just fast forward 5 years of training. I tracked it over $100,000. And even though it wasn't imperfect and it was super inexpensive and it took a ton of time, I'm grateful for it. And I would do it all over again in a heartbeat because here's why. If someone said you only have to spend $100,000 in 5 years to be permanently done with mental health distress and burnout, to retire from medicine at 45 because of pay cut to stay, to make more than a doctor's salary coach in 1 hour a day, to be there for my kids, to travel the world. I was in a hairstyling studio the other day and she said, how do you parent like this? You and your kids are like triplets. You're so close. How do you do this? I couldn't have done that when I was full-time in medicine. When I cut back my physician schedule, my family became priority. We say all the time in medicine, our family's a priority. But when you're holding a pager, your family cannot be the priority. Let's just be real. When I put down the pager, my physician career, my family became number one and my marriage became stronger. And my kids and I now have a completely different relationship. Someone would have told me that's what I was buying, $100,000 in 5 years in, I would have begged them to let me pay. The best investment in the entire world. The stock market on its best day can't beat it. Those imperfect programs gave me what I needed to make medicine optional. To replace my clinical salary, coaching 1 hour a day so my family could be top priority. The best news ever is I didn't forget everything I learned. I just packaged it into this program, Trauma Informed Physician Coach Training, the upcoming free masterclass you're going to see. I offer it to you all in one course for a fraction of the cost, effort, and time. You get all of that. And my thinking behind it is I want as many physician women to have this as possible. My goal is to retire as many physician women as possible. That's my goal. Because I believe that this one precious life on the planet, we should be living it. This is the only this is the only certification process that I know of specifically designed for physician women to retire from medicine. You get everything you need to be a premier in-demand expert physician coach with advanced trauma-informed physician coaching skills and money-making skills. You're not going to come out with being a great coach and broke. You're not going to come out with knowing how to make business but not how to coach clients. None of that. You're going to come in and you're going to get unmatched coaching skills, unmatched business building skills, the complete package. This is the one and only coach certification you'll ever need to make medicine optional. And you can do it in 12 months. Keep listening to the podcast. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about my story of how exactly I got started and what I did. In 3 simple steps, we're going to be taking this all the way to the masterclass as well. You can make medicine optional this year. I'll see you on the next podcast episode.